Questo è un luogo che genera dialogo,
qualcuno che si impegna, che si batte,
che approfondisce la conoscenza e sostiene la fiducia. È un crocevia dove si incontra chi desidera il vero, il bello, il giusto e il bene. È una testimonianza di speranza nel cuore ferito del presente. E tutto questo esiste anche grazie a te.
Buongiorno a tutti.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this session entitled Continuing to Meet Memories and Experiences of Interreligious Dialogue. continuing because today's session is part and parcel of a story that started in 1987 when Father Giussani, in his only journey to Japan in June 1987, at the Koyasan, where the Shingon school from the Buddhist tradition was set up, for the first time met the monk Shodo Habukawa. Unexpectedly, as usual, that meeting led to a friendship. And this is why we're here today. We do not want to commemorate that meeting. We don't want to be nostalgic. In order to live, it is always useful to be surprised by the present. And this is why we're here today. We asked our guests to give us a gift of their experience, recalling that meeting and telling us their present and the surprise of the present they're living. So we're going to start with a song by the choir. Marina is now going to introduce this song, and you will understand why this introduction is necessary. It is a song connecting us to the topic of the meeting, the love of God that generated everything. There are some triplets of Dante in the song, focusing on the soul that you're going to see in the text. From the man of the one who desires, there is a soul. The soul, before existing, just like a little girl crying, the soul doesn't know what it is. It is generated by a creator. The soul.
Grazie.
Thank you. We're now going to give the floor to our guests. I remind you that the reason why we have organized the session of today was the fact that on the 19th of April, the monk Shodo Habukawa passed away at the age of 84. So we wondered what we can learn from this extraordinary experience of friendship between Father Luigi Giussani and the Shodo Habukawa, because life is made of moments containing a promise, suggesting methods to learn the job of living. We're now going to give the floor to our dear friend Agakako Sauto, professor of Italian culture and religion and Aichiki Gakuin University in Nagoya, where she lives.
Allora, innanzitutto sono...
First of all, I'm back to the Rimini meeting and very happy of that. Thank you very much. I'm really, really happy.
Allora, carissimi...
Dear friends, my name is Wakako, and I would like to thank the meeting for the kind invitation, and also I would like to thank you all for your participation. I grew up within my family's tradition and the culture of my homeland, living as a Buddhist. Today, I teach at Aichi Gakuin University, a Buddhist university in Japan, where I run courses on Italian language and culture, Italian religion and society, and also on human dignity. In February and March, when there are no university lectures in Japan, I teach Japanese language and culture at the Catholic University of the Sacred Heart in Milan. I have been taking part in the Rimini meeting since 1988. So I have a very long history here at the meeting, and always alongside the monks of Mount Koya. Over the years, I have met many Catholic friends and people of different faiths, with whom I have forged deep friendships. Through lectures, exhibitions, and concerts, we have introduced the Buddhism of Mount Koya and fostered mutual understanding. The story of our friendship has now spanned 38 years. On April 19th this year, Professor Shodo Habukawa, former head of Mount Koya, passed away. He was a great friend of Monsignor Luigi Giussani and a teacher whom I deeply admired. For me and for many of us, it was a very, very painful loss. In your hands, you hold a small image of Master Habukawa. This is the very same image. I invite you to look at it. I would like to thank, in a heartfelt way, the meeting for the support that made the production of this image possible. On April 22nd, Father Ambrogio and others came to the funeral service held at Mount Koya as representatives of all of you, undertaking a very long journey from Milan to Osaka and then up to Mount Koya. It was not a mere formality, not at all. It was a deeply human and natural gesture. The sincere desire to accompany a friend on his final journey with all one's heart. During those days, we received prayers and messages from Catholics and people of many religions around the world. The master's wife, Mrs. Shodo Habukawa, asked me to convey to all of you her most sincere gratitude for this great spiritual closeness. Thank you very much to all of you. The friendship between Father Giussani and Master Habukawa began in 1987 during the Italian Week. At that time, I was working at the Nagoya International Center as project manager. I didn't know Italy very well, but I felt it was important to introduce Catholicism to young Japanese people. One day, almost by chance, I came across the name of Father Giussani. Thinking he would probably turn me down, I sent him a fax anyway, because we wanted to invite him to speak at our Nagoya International Center to address young people. The next day, something incredible happened. I received his reply. I accept the invitation. I was surprised and asked myself, who is really Father Giussani? The day after the Nagoya conference on June 28, 1987, my father had a simple but decisive idea: to take Father Giussani to the temple of Master Shodo Habukawa on Mount Goya. My father, my mother, and I accompanied him. The mystery brought Father Giussani and Professor Habukawa together, and it was here that this great friendship was born, a friendship that still endures to this day. When we arrived at the temple, something that none of us could have foreseen happened. The mystery brought Father Giussani and Professor Habukawa together. And at that moment, a great friendship was born, a friendship that would endure through the ages. I invite you to look at the back of the prayer card. You see Professor Habukawa, as you see him here, and Professor Habukawa pouring tea for Father Giussani. It is a very simple gesture, but yet full of meaning. Although it was their first meeting, the two masters seemed as though they had been friends forever. There was a naturalness, a trust, and a harmony between them that cannot be explained by words alone. Master Habukawa interpreted that meeting in the light of a poem by the monk poet Ryokan, who lived between the 18th and the 19th centuries. When the flower blooms, the butterfly arrives. And when the butterfly arrives, the flower is already in bloom. Without realizing it, we all obey the secret law of heaven. The master explained that neither the flower nor the butterfly think, I ought to do this, or we ought to meet and become friends. They simply follow the natural flow of the universe without calculation, without effort, without fear. It is in this state of inner freedom that the most beautiful encounters arise. He used to say, human beings cannot fully understand one another. Yet the world moves within a great law, beyond our understanding. The friendship between Father Giussani and Master Habukawa was precisely like that. Natural, simple, profound, and based on trust. It transcended the differences in language, culture, and religion. and sprang from an essential aspect of existence. And the Master always added that the true interreligious dialogue does not arise from ceremonies or formalities, but from sincere, everyday encounters in which one allows oneself to be guided by mystery. From that first meeting, a new journey began. Master Habukawa began attending the Rimini meeting every year. The meeting between Master Habukawa and Father Giussani profoundly changed my life. In 1990, I began studying Father Giussani's Catholic theology at the Catholic University of the Sacred Heart in Milan as a researcher at the Mikio Institute of Buddhist Culture at Koya Mountain University. To do so, I left my career in Japan, my friends, and everything I knew. I knew only a few words of Italian, and living in a different religious environment was a huge challenge, fraught with risks. During that difficult period, I met many of Father Giussani's disciples and friends. They helped me, supported me, and through them, bonds of true friendship were formed without altering my Buddhist roots. The mystery through these Italian Catholic friends has always remained close to me. Meeting people from beyond one's own religion means having the opportunity to understand even more deeply my faith and to sense the presence of the great mystery that unites all religions. Both Father Giussani and Master Habukawa devoted a great deal of energy to the education of young people. Both lived out what Christianity calls love and what Buddhism calls compassion. The two masters also paid great attention to the figure of the thousand-handed goddess Canon, who possesses 1,000 tools to help all living beings. This image made a deep impression on them. I, too, influenced by their example, began to aspire to become an educator. That is why I wanted to understand how Catholics put their beliefs into practice. Thanks to my Catholic friends, I had the opportunity to visit various places. For example, the school La Traccia and the Seme, both schools, and also the nuns in Naples, to see how they reached out to children, how they reached out to young people, and also to those who are suffering. In all these places, I saw an approach to education that sprang from the very same root. In other words, being at the other side with an open heart, with care, with tenderness. After those early experiences, I began visiting the communal liberation communities in various countries of the world to see how they tackled people's problems with their own contexts. Wherever I went, I found people eager to learn about the dialogue between Buddhism and Catholicism. They welcomed me with great openness, and friendships were formed in many countries, for instance, Switzerland, Spain, Ireland, Taiwan, Thailand, Indonesia, and many more. The more I meet people of different faiths, the more I realize how deep the roots of my Buddhist identity run. In short, when one has a strong relationship with one's own mystery, one can also become friends with those who follow another religion, because there is always that great mystery that we share. Together with the young monks from Mount Goya, I also went to Lourdes in France, and to see AVSIS projects, I visited Uganda and Kenya. In Uganda, I got to know Father Tiboni and his disciples better. That friendship is still alive and existing today, and one of his students is now my colleague at the university where I teach. In 2011, during the great earthquake that struck Japan, Marina Valmaggi and other friends who are musicians came to Japan. They brought comfort to the devastated areas. They sang in 13 different venues, offering solace through the beauty of music. It was clear to me that the mystery was at work through them. In emergency situations, mystery let compassion and love come through with a greater and stronger and more immediate force. And thanks to those people and their music, that presence is made visible and becomes something close. Everything I have experienced has not been the result of my own plans. It was a gift received from mystery. I simply followed the reality that presented itself before me. I walked on like this, with a free heart, without calculation, trying to live every moment with sincerity. The friendship between Father Giussani and Master Habukawa has left us a great gift. We want to get a mission, to live out this legacy in our daily lives as instruments of mystery. I am certain that the two masters, even now from heaven, are watching over us, and they continue to bestow love and compassion upon us, to sustain us on the journey we must take. I'd like to conclude by saying that our friendship can also become a sign of hope for peace. I have brought from Hiroshima, where 8 years ago the atomic bomb was thrown. I brought these origami paper cranes. They were donated at the monument to the children victims of the atomic bomb. I invite you to take one and carry it with you. It's there at the entrance, so please get one. So please pick one and take it home with you, because it's very meaningful. For us Japanese, folding 1,000 cranes is a form of prayer. Each crane is a gesture of hope, a wish for peace, an offer of solidarity with those who suffer. Today, as I present these cranes to you, I wish to share with you the same prayer, that our friendship may become a small sign of light in a wounded world. Thank you very much.
Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now the floor goes to our friend Emilia Guarnieri, former president of the Meeting for Friendship Among the Peoples. The Meeting for Friendship Among the Peoples stems from the idea to be a place where friendships can be built. When we started, there was a great intuition, not a project, but just an intuition made of steps that would lead to a strategy. But then things evolved and kept happening, and some facts happened. And so many things evolved after that initial intuition, and the friends who are here today are a proof of how we learned interreligious dialogue, because we learned it from facts and things that happened. At the beginning of the 90s, a man dressing in white, and I mean, it was extremely incredible, because this man dressing in white that every year came to the meeting and invited or not invited to speak was really striking us. It was Yahe Pallavicini, Ibrahim Pallavicini, the father of our friend Yahya Pallavicini. And then in 1987, as Wakako just said, was invited to Nagoya. I don't want to repeat what has just been said, the history of this encounter and friendship. But again, for us, I mean, what happened? Well, Father Giussani came back from Japan and said, I have met these Buddhist monks. I told them about the meeting. I told them that it would have been nice for them to be invited. And so we were really at the very, very beginning. It was 1987, so the meeting had just started. So we decided to seize the opportunity to invite Master Habukawa together with other representatives of the Mount Goya, I mean, and reality. And so, well, as all beginnings, everything was beautiful, because we were a bit stiff. I mean, because we were faced with these very strong and solid traditions. But little by little, I mean, friendship somehow took over formality and traditions, and the real friendship, I mean, was born. And Wakako told us her story, and let me say that she is now the connecting link and eternal proof of that friendship. And again, nobody had foreseen that. Nobody saw that coming, because, well, Wakako, I mean, has remained, has stayed there, and even though the master has passed away, is still with us. I remember that Wakako 2 years ago told me, I realize that today I am responsible for the continuation of this friendship and of this relationship. Well, allow me to say that considering everything that is happening all around us is a real miracle. So, in the wake of this friendship and relationships with the Buddhists, and also thanks to the presence of Taiten Guareschi and other friends, the things, I mean, went on. And the Wael had translated the religious sense by Father Giussani in Arabic in 2006. And Wael, I mean, came here for the first time. Well, other friends knew him, but to me, he was a perfect stranger. he came here to present the religious sense in Arabic, and I went back to his speech at that time, and I found something amazing. The first thing that he said by introducing himself was how he had come across that text and said, friendship is the way towards knowledge. So friendship is the way towards knowledge. Yes, yes, you can give it up. Because, well, did you remember saying this? So things went on, and then we held a meeting together in Cairo, and today the friendship has nothing but grown. I mean, we are aware that we share a common destiny. And I read some things again these days, because when you go back to things and read them again, it's like better remember things. During that Nagoya conference, when he met Master Habukawa, Wakako, and all the others, said, well, there is a certain unity between us of human existence, and because that means sharing a common destiny. So the more you're aware of your own humanity, of this common destiny, the more you become friends with somebody else. Because so what unites us makes us stronger together much more than what separates us. And when you see that the other is animated by the same questions, has the same needs of meaning that you have, then a friendship can start and develop. And allow me to say that we really experienced from real what Pope Leo said in his speech. Pope Leo said, and I quote him because he really said something so relevant. So we acknowledge ourselves in the dignity, we recognize one another in the dignity of being children of God. We come into contact with that which fundamentally unites human beings beyond every difference, division, or conflict. We can enter into one another's experience, listen to one another, and become friends, first as individuals and then as peoples. Before borders, definitions, institutions, there are always persons, and this is end of quotation. And this is really what we experience, and that we still experience. The interreligious dialogue was developed through these stories of friendship, and dialogue has become the natural dimension for this relationship between people and with people. So the story of the friendship between Father Giussani and Master Habukawa is a clear example of that. And I would like to read you a couple of lines of what Professor Habukawa said when he met for the first time Father Giussani, because Wakako accompanied him to Mount Koya. I will never ever forget until I die that extraordinary day when Monsignor Giussani appeared in front of my eyes. We hugged in silence for a few seconds without the need of saying a single word. And so this is what really what shows this level of closeness. And I want to mention another thing that is really amazing, and allow me to say that is true. It's really incredible, but that struck us so much during our travel to Mount Koya. Professor Habukawa said a prayer every morning, first in the chapel, and then he used to go out. And at one point, what did we see in the chapel, where we also joined Professor Habukawa and the other monks for prayer? We saw that on the altar there was the picture of Father Giussani, of Pope John Paul II, of Father Francesco Ricci. So the monks were praying every day for them. So they were praying with their religion, with their faith, with their mystery experience for these friends. And when we saw that, when we saw those pictures on the altar, we felt overwhelmed. It was incredible. It was amazing. And I want to quote the last thing. The very last thing is this. It's an extract from Father Giussani, because Master Habukawa and Father Giussani kept a meeting, and Master Habukawa has come to the meeting more than 20 times, so they certainly exchanged a lot over the years. And at one point, there was a special greeting between them. It was a very hot morning. Professor Habukawa was about to leave, and he was already in the car, and he rolled down the window, the car window, with joint hands and with a rosary in his hands. I was almost embarrassed because I knew that he was with somebody. And while the car was going away, he kept watching Father Giussani, who was still saying goodbye to him on top of the staircase. And Father Giussani got moved, burst into tears, and told me if this man had lived 2,000 years ago and had come across Jesus Christ, he would have been one of his disciples. This is the experience that Father Giussani had with this person. So, considering all this, considering the stories that are so intense and deep and authentic, well, today, for me and for the friends who are still here at the meeting, I can wish nothing but one thing. I hope that they still have the same gaze of wonder, because such encounters keep happening. It's the intensity of desire of this human truth that is the issue. It should remain and grow, because this is the only way to be open to the encounter with the other. Because when you become friends, you can really contribute to the openness of the world.
Grazie.
Thank you. You've probably realized that the richness of life embraces the words. You have the floor, Mr. Farouq.
Ok, il tempo è...
Okay. Time has passed. So I'm going to speak off the cuff. I'm not going to read, so you will apologize my mistakes in speaking Italian. Dear friend, it's always surprising as Father Ambrogio pronounced his word, and before him, Father Giussani. This is a word, a very peculiar word, full of joy. But I was struck by the fact that it's a word full of certainty. A word which is a prayer. Because in one single word, you are called a friend with certainty, out of certainty. Even in the Quran, all the prophets chosen by God, Abraham was called the friend of God, at least in the Islamic translation. And a very peculiar word is used to indicate this friendship, the word halil, which does not only mean friendship, but also friendship leading to purity. Abraham was one of the doubtful prophets. He was always questioning God on many things. And why among all the prophets he was called the friend of God? In my opinion, as the Quran says, the Quran says that when Abraham was searching for God, he was looking at the sky and he saw a planet, Venus, and he was saying, how beautiful this is. This is my God. But when it disappears, he says, I don't love what disappears. The use of the word love is very peculiar. I don't love what disappears. I do not adore, because he was searching for God. So Abraham was searching for his presence, because you cannot know God in isolation. You need some presence. You need somebody else. You need the other. The other is a need in Islamic tradition in order to be faithful, in order to have a faith. There is no faith without the presence of somebody else, somebody different from us. A group of Muslim philosophers of the past wrote a very interesting parable on this meaning. They said that mankind is like a sick man that sometimes gets sick, and then there's a doctor. God is a doctor. When a man is sick, goes to a doctor, and the doctor, God, prescribes a drug, a medicine, as in the religion, and sometimes a different medicine. And they say there are no contradictions among medicines, among drugs, and there is no contradiction among religions. It's the same. The lack of a medicine can threaten the life of everyone. So the presence of somebody else, of the other, is really necessary.
Come ha detto Emilia, e io veramente...
Just like Emilia said, and thanks to this encounter 26 years ago with Father Ambrogio, I found out this essential value of a friendship for knowledge. I always say that the homeland is not a shared past, but is a shared future. And the homeland is the future that guards our hope. And the meeting, for me, has always been a homeland. The word friendship in Arabic is sadaqa. It is a noun coming from the verb sadaqa, which means coinciding with the truth. This is the meaning of the word sadaqa. Another noun coming from this verb is a sadaqah, which means the true. This is a unique word. It is uncountable. And the word sadaqa, friendship, can be replicated an infinite number of times, an endless number of times. To express the idea of make friends in Arabic, we use another word, another verb, sadaqa. Make friends, sadaqa. That means sharing the truth and the true. The Arabic dictionary suggests a unique definition of sadaqa, a friendship along the journey towards the truth. The truth is one, but the journey leading to the truth is manifold. Maybe in this world of the post-truth, friendship is what is going to rescue us. In any prayer, I want to thank God because this long journey towards the truth is a journey with you all. Thank you.
Grazie.
Thank you. This is an omen for the next 26 years. So I'm going to give now the floor to our friend Yahya.
Podio conquistato.
You can go on stage. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you for this brotherhood and for this friendship. We are now called upon to talk about memories and experiences, and I'm focusing on 3 places and 3 moments that I'm going to share with you, and I hope this is going to inspire you to continue and develop this friendship. And the first moment was 1998 in Rimini. The second one is 2005 in Milan. And the third one is 2019 in Abu Dhabi. In 1998, I had one of my first experiences at the Rimini meeting. It was a very peculiar time because the meeting for friendship amongst peoples was able to make 2 distinguished persons meet. They didn't know each other. A real champion of the Catholic Church, the Cardinal Jean-Louis Touran, president of the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue, and His Excellency, the Councillor Abderrahman El-Hashi, who is still today the counselor of the president of the United Arab Emirates. That was the first meeting of a friendship and of brotherhood between a real champion of Catholic Christianity and a distinguished representative of the family of the Prophet from the United Arab Emirates. And there was a meeting between the East and the West, between 2 different dimensions of a faith. And that was the opportunity to promote a convergence through respect, friendship, and brotherhood, to promote a peace process that could improve the relations between the East and the West. Improve peace among peoples from the East and the West. And that was really extraordinary. This event, to me, was a beginning. It was Friday. And the meeting was not held here, but in the old Rimini Fair. Friday is the religious day for the Muslims. And the meeting accepted to make a prayer that the Muslim delegation could do. It could pray. And as I was the young Italian imam, I was pushed to preach before the counselor. So it was a meeting based on international relations between the East and the West. It was tradition, it was modernity, but it was also a moment of prayer in memory of one single God. It was a moment of a communion. The second event, the second episode, was 2005 in Milan. I was really not aware of, and I was not really very familiar with the Communion Liberation Movement. And I went to the funeral of Father Giussani. It was one of the first experiences for me. I didn't understand how we could relate as Muslims, how we could behave in order to commemorate Father Giussani. We were welcomed. There was a small delegation of Muslims. We were driven to greet in peace Father Giussani, and I'm happy
movimento perché è stato un momento
to remind him to you
preghiera
here's of his movement, because it was a moment of friendship, dialogue, intimate friendship. And then we were there to preach life and to cultivate life, even for the encounter that we have after death. So it was an encounter between life and death. We were before cultivating peace and international relations, and in Milan we developed the relations with the mosque in Milan, and we developed some sort of intimacy between life and death, as Father Giussani said, with a real religious meaning. And while visiting St. Augustine's exhibition, we can realize that we must protagonize not just of love and friendship, but also of God, in order to honor life and death. And the last episode is going to be very short, and I'm happy to say that before my friend, the Bishop of Abu Dhabi, Monsignor Martinelli, who is here in the audience, it was 2019. There was an encounter in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, where Pope Francis and the great Ahmed Taib signed and presented the whole world the document on human brotherhood, which speaks for itself. This is a symbol. Then that was quoted in the encyclical by Pope Francis, all brothers. But to me, that was a very peculiar moment, because Sheikh Al-Azhar summoned all the delegations of the Muslim wise men the day before the signature, and there was an interreligious council of the Muslims of the East and the West. And I was called to make a testimony, and on that occasion I presented a document on the encounter between St. Francis and Sultan Malik al-Kami, as a historical and spiritual inspiration of a man like St. Francis, who could make a bridge to promote dialogue up to Egypt, to meet, despite the Muslims were against it and the Christians were against it, because they didn't want to have this encounter. He managed to make a testimony and to lead to a conversion of faith, which is a meeting between two men of God. And that was the eve of the declaration on a human brotherhood between Pope Francis and Sheikh Al-Azhar. So memories starting in 1919 with the Rimini meeting, and maybe those inspired this document on Muslim brotherhood in Abu Dhabi. So friendship and brotherhood are still benchmarks for our interreligious dialogue. And as Mrs. Guarnieri said, and Mrs. Wakako said, it is the mystery of life and death which are common elements of an intimate friendship that we hope to promote in this world and especially in the other world. Thank you.
Grazie. Chiedo scusa per...
Thank you. I apologize because I forgot to say that Yahya Sergio is the Vice President of COREIS, the Italian Islamic religious community, and Imam of the al-Wahid Central Mosque in Milan. I apologize, I didn't say that before.
Ecco, Fausto non può...
Now, Fausto is going to stand up and go to the microphone.
L'amico Fausto.
Fausto Taiten Guareschi, emeritus abbot of the monastery Shōbōzan Fudenji, Salsomaggiore Terme, Parma.
Non so se funzionerà, ma insomma.
I don't know whether this is going to work, but I've never had the opportunity to meet, I don't know whether to call him Father or Monsignor Giussani, but I had the opportunity to walk together with Habukawa, but I didn't meet him. When I was quite old, I wrote a short message to Father Giussani. I know that it's Easter because I've been given the gift to meet you. He didn't answer. He sent me 2 priests, Father Ambrogio and Father Pido. We spent a night together at some friends. We met and we celebrated the spirit and the soul of Father Giussani. I know that it's Easter, and I started to talk about Easter identities to implement the spiritual revolution among the followers of Dharma, of Buddha. So the title of my short speech was, and sorry, because why are we still able to meet? This is what I was struck by. And so I thought about this title, using the unexpected, using the non-availability from in the bad thought and compulsive thought to the suspended thought, leading to the thought in the aesthetics of the non-availability. I know it's very unclear, but it makes us think about the fact that we cannot listen to others. This is very difficult for us. Most times we want to have our opinions confirmed. This is very common, especially in the current world of information. No one is listening to others speaking. It is not interesting to listen to someone saying that you're right, but it's interesting to listen to somebody saying that you're wrong. So, if this attitude as suspended this annoying thought, then in both people, in both persons, in both interlocutors, there is a possibility to find a common space, a new space. And that is Easter. That is the Easter time. I don't like to translate a culture, not the Buddhist culture, because Buddhism was invented in the 19th century. Buddhism is not a culture. There is the Dharma. And you need to be able to relate to what is not a meditation. Meditation has nothing to do with that. It's not meditation. In a classical way, I could talk about reading, meditation, prayer, and contemplation. So, meditation means thinking. Brooding. It has nothing to do with the lively attitude that I still find in meeting the friends of this Rimini meeting. Meeting is the biggest secret ever. Then this is why we have to ask ourselves, why is it still possible to meet? But it's bad. I mean, this question requires a very daunting answer. We cannot answer this question. So even if we don't think about God, it is always there in our relations with our brothers and sisters, even though they come from a different religion. This is the richness, meeting someone saying that you are wrong. This is what is good. And there is no better satisfaction than embracing someone that up to yesterday was your enemy. Thank you.
Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fausto. Before getting to the end and before getting to our final prayer, let's listen to another music moment. This is a Japanese song celebrating peace and forgiveness after Nagasaki catastrophe. And it is entitled The Bell of Nagasaki.
Grazie davvero.
Thank you very much indeed, because as I said, the friends of the choir are so precious and valuable. Without hearts and souls and voices singing, without music, what would earth be? I'll let you imagine that. So to end this moment of prayer, and each and every one of us will experience it according to their own traditions. First of all, we will stand up and remain silent, because praying is the truth of life, is the awareness that those who are giving us their lives are doing so now. So it's the awareness of something I'm receiving from another person. Without this awareness, life would be left in the hands of the lack of meaning of everything that is observed. First of all, we listen to Wakako and her brother Fausto, who will introduce the prayer according to their tradition.
Incomparabile, sottile, profondo, il Dharma raro, difficile d'incontrare in mille kalpa, ora da me visto, udito, accolto, custodito, possa io la verità del Tathagata realizzare.
Kanyaramita Shingyo Kanji Saibo Sadyo Jin Anyaharamita Jishoken Om Hariku Doi Saiku Yakushari Shishiki Fui Kuku Fui Shiki Shiki Soguze Kuku Soguze Shiki Ju Sogyo Shiki Yakubu Nyoze Shari Shize Shoku Sofu Shofu Kufu Kufu Jofu Zofu Genze Koku Chumu Shiki Mojo Sogyo Shiki Mugenni Bize Shinni Mushiki Shoko Mi Soko Homu Kenkai Naishi Mu Ishiki Kai Mu Mu Myo Yakumu Mu Myo Jin Naishi Muroshi Yakumu Roshi Jin Muku Shumetsu Domu Chi Yakumu Tokuhi Mu Shotoko Bodai Sadai Hanya Haramita Koshimu Keige Mukeige Komu Kofuni Saiten Domu Soku Gyone Han Sanze Shōbōzan Hanya Haramita Kotoku Ano Kutara Samyaku Sambodai Kochi Hanya Haramita Zedai Jinshu Zedai Myo Shuze Mujo Shuze Mutodo Shunojo Isaiku Shinjitsu Fukoko Setsu Hanya Haramita Shusu Watsu Gyate Gyate Hara Gyate Haraso Gyate Boji Swaka Hanya Shinyo Nigawaku Kono Kudoku O Motte Amane Kuisai ni Oyoboshi Warerato Shujo Minato Moni Butsudo Josen Koto.
Adesso invitiamo.
Now we invite Wael and Sergio, who will pray in the wake of the Muslim tradition.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير صدق الله العظيم.
Questo versetto parla sulla differenza.
This verse talks about difference. God made difference the secret of life, day and night, sky and earth, woman and man. Let's pray a day who is going to bless our difference that always leads us to Him, to the love that we experience through God and for God.
Per chi tra noi si riconosce nella.
And now, for those of you who relate to the Christian tradition, let's pray God with the words that we learned from Jesus, because our life was somehow grasped by the presence of God, so we can call God Father, because giving us His Son, let us show His face and let us say His name. So, for those of you, let's now say a prayer. Our Father, the Lord's Prayer, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Prayer and praying is the truth of the being. And if we were not to pray, time would be an unbearable prison. We have a final surprise, so let's get seated. If you want to stand up, you can, but now we are going to listen to a song that was very much loved by Professor Habukawa, and he told this to Father Giussani, and Father Giussani remained speechless, or at least he said the only thing that he liked to say, why? And the song was Torna Surientu, and Habukawa, after a moment of silence, said, melancholy, because this song somehow let him feel melancholy and let him feel melancholic. So let's listen to it. Well, if you feel brave enough to sing it, feel free to do it. But please follow the choir, because without doubt, I think that Father Giussani and Professor Habukawa are very happy about this moment. Certainly they will be singing with us this very evocative song.
Grazie.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thanks for your patience also. I hope that in spite of the duration of this session, you are still attentive and you can also rewatch this session if you want. I would like to thank once again our friends who accepted our invitation, and certainly today they conquered your hearts in a biblical sense, not in a romantic sense, and in meaning by that we prayed together, and this is unforgettable. I want to say a last thing. By supporting the meeting, you contribute to build the places of encounter, beauty, and hope. So do not hesitate to donate in the station with the red heart that you find in the fairgrounds. The Meeting Foundation is a third sector entity. If you make donations, you will have access to a tax rate for your revenue in declaration. So thank you again for coming. Thank you. Goodbye.
Questo è un luogo che genera dialogo,
Qualcuno che si impegna, che si batte.
che approfondisce la conoscenza e sostiene la fiducia. È un crocevia dove si incontra chi desidera il vero, il bello, il giusto e il bene. È una testimonianza di speranza nel cuore ferito del presente. E tutto questo esiste anche grazie a te.